Happy Friday, y'all. Well, it's Friday for me. I might not get this out until Sunday because I'll have to edit it. But today, this is the third Premortality video that I'm doing. But this one's going to be very different because this one is for 18 of my missionaries. They're all represented here in this picture, this sketch that I did. And also, I wrote a poem for them, for you guys. So I'm going to be sharing that today, and a song. I picked out a song for us because this is what I do. I like to assign songs to people. I've been doing this since I was a little girl. I don't know. That way when the song comes on, I'm like, oh, my friend, or that boy who broke my heart, or whatever, right? Okay, so I know I've been putting this off for a long time. I'm a little nervous because this video is about people. So whenever I do videos about people, that makes me nervous. But also because of the special experiences that I had, I was hesitant because I wasn't sure how much the Lord wanted me to share. And I really needed to pray about this and be sure of not oversharing, because I've done that many times in my life where I've overshared, and I didn't want that to happen again. And I also want to be comfortable in the video, right? And be confident in what I'm sharing and saying. So I keep looking at my whiteboard. I don't know why. There's not much on there. I really just want to go by the Spirit, because I do better when I go by the Spirit. So today we're going to be talking about this art piece and the song and the poem. So I want to tell you about when, after I made those videos for you guys over a year ago in December, I was really struggling. Although I got a lot of comments, like private messages, text messages, things in Facebook Messenger. One of you called me. And I don't know why, but it was still just really bothering me. I think because there were some of you that I didn't hear from. And then that's okay. That's okay. It's just me. It's my analysis paralysis, my catastrophic thinking. And so I was really struggling with it. And I almost took down all of those videos, because that's what the adversary does to me. And I felt like sometimes it was a little too much, and I was really awkward in some of them too. You guys know I'm awkward, right? Okay, let me get to the point. Well, first of all, I just really quickly want to thank Joe Bird, Joe Holbrook, and Shawn. I want to thank the three of you for reaching out to me when I was sick and in the hospital, and for putting my name in the temple, and for your prayers. I was really scared. I know I was like joking it off and being silly, but that's deflecting. That's what I do when I'm scared or nervous. So we'll talk about that, because we're going to bring that up again. Okay, so anyways, just wanted to thank you guys. I love you. All right, so back to these videos. I wanted to delete them. I was really struggling with it, and I was praying about it. And I ended up going to church with my kids. My husband stayed home because he was sick. And while I was sitting in sacrament meeting, I was just really having a hard time and wanted to delete the videos, even though they had already been up for like over a month, because this was in January when I was struggling with it. So it's kind of weird, but my mind overthinking things that I said like 5 years ago. Those things will pop into my head. So while I'm sitting in sacrament meeting, this woman is giving a talk, and I was trying really hard to concentrate on what she was saying, but I was struggling. And so while she was speaking, all of a sudden she did like the weirdest thing. She stopped in the middle of her thought and brought up her patriarchal blessing. And she said that in her patriarchal blessing, it says, the family and friends that you know now, you knew before you came to this earth. You knew in your premortal existence. And I sat there because all of you were on my mind. Those videos were on my mind. The pre-existence was on my mind. And I just, I felt the Spirit just kind of just wash over me with peace and comfort. And he said, Beth, you knew all of your brothers before you came to this earth. And so of course I started crying, and everybody probably thought I was crying because of what she was saying, but I wasn't. I was crying because of what the Spirit had just witnessed to me. And I know that that's true. And I'm excited to share these things with you. Okay. So let's talk about this song. I love this song so much. It's the perfect song for our friendship, for our bond, right? Our brother and sisterhood. And so I'm just going to read it. I have my daughter's phone here. Okay, this is a Kenny Loggins song. For those of you who don't know, I love Kenny Loggins. I love a lot of his music. I think he's great. And he's clean, and he's just, I love to dance to some of his things too. So I picked this song because I heard it one day when I was, well, I don't know, one day when I think I was weeding the lawn or the garden. And I heard this song and I was like, this song is for my brothers, my missionaries. I'm not going to read all of these lyrics. I just want to pick out a couple of things. And then we'll get to the art piece and then the poem. Okay, so it says, in a lifetime made of memories, I believe in destiny. So destiny, we would call that by divine design, like Elder Rasbin taught us. It's more like the hand of God, or it's providential, like God's providence. That's what I would call it. Destiny, that we were all brought together in for my story. Well, it's our story, right? It says every moment returns again in time. That's us. We're returning again together. I'll scroll down. It says, this is the chorus, meet me halfway across the sky. Well, that's what we're doing right now through the internet. So we are meeting halfway across the sky. And then it says, make this a new beginning of another life. So that new beginning of me getting baptized, it's my new beginning. And then I love this part. It says, in a lifetime, there is only love, reaching for the lonely one. That's me. I was the lonely one, and you guys reached out to me. It says, we are stronger when we are given love. When we put emotions on the line, know that we are the timeless ones. Okay, that's us. We're timeless, right? We knew each other before we came to this earth. We know each other now, and we will be reunited again in the next life. Whether that's in the spirit world, or maybe Jesus will come back and you know, we'll see each other in the New Jerusalem. Who knows? But that's the song. Don't you love it? I know. If I could sing, I would have sung it. But I'm not a singer. When I sing, it sounds like a dog dying. So, all right. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, I need to calm myself a little bit. All right. Let's talk about this art piece. I can't see it very well. It's kind of dark in here. I did that on purpose because I have a rash on me, and I'm using like filter and lighting so that you can't see it because it looks awful. We won't talk about the rash and what happened. There's always something with me. It's always something. Okay, let's talk about this art piece. I want to go through what happened and why I sketched it. So, I was one day praying in my secret place where I like to pray, and I couldn't get that picture out of my mind. I don't know who this artist is, but she did that, or he or she did that picture of Premortality, and I'm assuming that that's where the Savior and the adversary stepped in, and we were discussing the plan and who we were going to choose to be our Savior. And so while I was pondering on that scene, in my mind I thought it would be so cool if I recreated this, but with my own story. And I'd been thinking about that for a long time and never did it. And then months later, I was in my secret place again praying, and I felt the Spirit say, Beth, why don't you just recreate it? Why don't you just try? And I was like, well, my talents aren't as good as they were when I was in high school. And that's really the last time that I did any kind of artwork. Actually, the last one that I did was for Steve. I did a picture of Christ overlooking Jerusalem. It wasn't all that great, and he probably doesn't have it anymore. But I did that picture for him, and I did one for Jared. Anyways, let me get back to the point. I'm just squirrel because I'm nervous. So I decided that I was going to try and recreate it, and as I was doing it, I'll throw up kind of like my progress as we talk about it, but I was really struggling, and I thought, this looks ridiculous. Like, I don't have the talents that I used to have, and I haven't done any art in a really long time. But the Spirit kept telling me, oh no, don't give up, don't give up. And I couldn't get my face right. Okay, wait. One other thing that I want to bring up is my height. So I have some new subscribers. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 4'9". Now, I don't know how tall Steve and Derek are. I have no idea. And for some reason in this sketch, Derek is slightly taller. Now, Steve, don't be offended by that. Maybe you're taller than him, or maybe you're the same size. This is just how it came out, and I wasn't going to erase it and start over when I saw that. So, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I still drew me as 4'9" because I can't see me any other way. Who knows how tall I was before I came to this earth. But I can only ever imagine me as teeny tiny. Another thing I want to bring up is my face. Now, if you look, I'm not smiling. Guys, listen. That was not done on purpose. So, when I started really getting into art, well, as a little girl, I got into art class. But then as I got older and I ended up getting a scholarship when I was in the 8th grade for free art classes at IUS. Anyways, let me get back to it. They would ask me to do self-portraits, and I hated doing self-portraits because I hated my looks. I had acne on my chin, and I hated that. I kind of hated myself. I know that's so sad, but that's my story. And so I could never, in all the art pieces that I've ever done with myself, I've never, to this day, never been able to draw one where I'm smiling. Now this one, when I first drew my face, I struggled with it for a while and I kept erasing it. So right now it's like it's almost falling apart. So I got to be careful. I can't take it out or anything because I've erased and reerased. Anyways, the original one of me, when I finally got my face right, I had a smile. I did. But guess what happened? I was working on it, working on other parts of the picture, the sketch, and I accidentally dropped my pencil and it put a mark across my face. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I have to do this again. And I thought, if I erase this again, there's not going to be any paper left. So I was very carefully just taking my professional eraser and erasing it and trying to redraw it. And I tried and tried and tried to get that smile back. And it was either too big or was crooked or I don't know, but I couldn't do it. I tried and tried and tried. And finally I was just like, okay, then I'm just going to draw sad Beth Brown right there. And I did it and it was fine. So I don't know. You can call that serendipitous or what. By divine design, my plan was going to be a sad one. It was going to be a hard life. And maybe that's why I'm not smiling. Maybe in the pre-existence I was just really scared. And y'all were all smiling. And everyone is so happy in here except for me. Right? So maybe you guys were like, Beth, you got this. You can do it. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. Have you seen my plan? Do you see where I'm going? Better come find me. So that's why I don't have a smile. But I am determined this year to sketch myself smiling. I actually tried twice. I did that picture of me with my favorite apron, my cooking apron, the sunflower, and I didn't like the way it was turning out. So then I tried to do the one with this thumbnail. Oh my gosh, like I got to one point where like I finished it and it looked awful. It didn't look like me at all. And my son was like, well, your eyes are kind of, anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm rambling. I'm going off. But I erased it and it looked awful. I'm not even going to show it to you. I still have it, but I'm probably going to toss it because it's awful. So maybe I'll do the apron one. Maybe that will be the one that will stick. And I'll finally have a picture of me smiling. Okay, now let me get back to this because this is so cool. So again, I was struggling and I had that picture of you, Steve. You sent me a picture with you and your family. And I want to tell you what happened because this is like the most amazing experience that I had while sketching this. I was taking a walk with Jax and I was just fed up with it because I couldn't get it right. I couldn't get the hands right. I'm like, I'm so bad at drawing hands. I used to be really good at drawing hands. Like in high school, there were girls that would sit next to me and they were jealous of my skills at drawing hands, but I couldn't do it anymore. And anyways, the whole thing, I I didn't like where it would, I wanted to give up. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to put it down and I'm going to take a break. And so I took my Jax on a walk. Hold on. Oh, my legs are falling asleep. Hold on. Okay. I took Jax on a walk. And so back to me, like whenever things get really hard, I will, I'll turn it into a joke or something. Not all the time. I mean, I can be serious when things need to be serious. But when I was picturing this sketch in my mind while I was taking Jax on this walk, I pictured me sketching you, Steve, with like your thumbs up, like, you know, like I was trying to laugh about it and just kind of brush it off as a joke because I didn't want to finish it anymore. I wanted to be done with it. So I thought, oh, it'd be funny if I had Steve going like this. And I was laughing about it. And then, in that moment, I had an amazing experience. So do you guys remember, maybe some of you don't remember this, but President Nelson talked about how he was doing surgery, and in the middle of his surgery, he had the spirit put into his mind, like he saw in his mind's eye what he needed to do for this surgery. I remember that story. And when he said that, I never forgot it. And I had the same experience while I was sketching this. So, back to me joking about Steve, drawing him going like this with his thumbs up. When I was laughing about that on this walk and thinking about how I was just going to turn it into a joke because I thought my sketching was so awful, all of a sudden I saw in my mind's eye Steve standing there next to me. And then I saw you, Derek, walk up behind him and put your hand on his shoulder. I saw that in my mind's eye. And then I was like, what? And then the spirit said, Beth, you want to finish this sketch. You want to. If you don't, you will regret it. So, I came home immediately and I drew that hand. It took me a while. I had to search up how to draw hands and, you know, the position. And so, you know, I have that picture of just Steve standing there with Derek's hand on his shoulder. And I just cried because I'd struggled so much with drawing hands. And then I thought, okay, that hand looks great. That's like the most perfect hand I have ever sketched in my life, because it was inspired. And I knew I wasn't going to turn it into a joke anymore, and that I was going to do my best to finish the sketch. Okay. So, sorry. I'm so emotional. I got to get my thoughts together. So once I drew that hand, I thought, I'm going to go back and fix the other hands. And I couldn't fix them, guys. So some of them look like oven mitts. They don't look very good. And then the spirit was like, Beth, just stop. You're trying so hard. Just let those hands be what they are so that they can stand as a testimony to you that you were taught by the spirit that this was an inspired hand, right? Does that make sense, or does it sound crazy? It's okay. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but my Father in heaven knows I'm not crazy. Okay. So then I thought, okay, I got to draw Derek. Well, the only picture I had of Derek was a sad, sad Derek. And I looked at that and I'm like, I can't do this. I have no inspiration. Derek's all sad and I can't sketch him. And I was like, well, what am I going to do now? Because I was like, well, I could contact Shawn and be like, hey, can you go on Derek's Facebook or Instagram or whatever, wherever you're friends with him, and screenshot a picture of him with a smile on his face. So Shawn would have been like, what? That's awkward. Why do you want a picture? And I'm like, I'm doing a sketch of him. You're what? Oh gosh, like that would have been very awkward, you know. And how do I? So I was like, okay, Well, now I'm stuck because I was like, I can't draw sad Derek. And I really needed a picture because that's how my mind works. I don't I don't have the talents to just come up with something. But then I thought, like, it came to me, what if I Googled his boss or his ex-wife? Maybe if I Google them. Well, ask and you shall receive. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. Thank you, Google. Because I found that picture of you with your modern family, Derek, and there you were with a smile. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. So I was like, this is great. He's standing up. This is perfect. But then, guess what? I couldn't see your hand. Your hand was hidden. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I can't see his hand. And I don't know. I wanted to see your hand and I couldn't see it. So I was like, well, okay. Well, Derek's getting pockets. He's going to have a robe with pockets. So as I was sketching that, my little Layla came in. I call her my little Layla, but really she's bigger than me. Her feet are bigger than mine too now. She's 11. She's in the 6th grade. Good for her. She outgrew her mother. That's what we were all hoping for. But anyways, she was like, Mommy, why does that missionary have a V-neck and the other ones don't? And I'm like, oh goodness gracious. Well, actually, Joe I hadn't even sketched him yet. By the way, Joe looks like he's photobombing the picture. He kind of is, and there's a reason for that. We'll get to that in a minute. But then I had to explain to Layla, and I showed her the picture, and she's like, oh yeah, he's happy in that picture. That's great, Mom. But I don't know why, like, for some reason, the robe with the sash didn't look like it should have pockets. So Derek got the upgraded, the GQ version, whatever. So then I thought, okay, well, when I make my other missionaries, my other brothers, I'm going to have to do some with the sash, some with the V-neck. So then Joe got both. He got the V-neck and the sash. I know. This is how my mind works. I'm so crazy, and so I overthink things. So that's that. I'm happy with it. So then after I got us sketched out, I thought I got to put Joe in here. Joe has to be in here. And I was trying to figure out, I wanted him to stand out a little bit more because Joe has been, Joe, you have been a great ministering angel to me. And so I had to put you in there. So you're photobombing, but that's kind of what happened in real life because we didn't stay in contact. And then I found you on Facebook and you kind of just came into my life right as I was getting ready to leave Facebook, and you were a great support for me. Sorry. And also, Joe, you don't know this, but you're in my poem. The snare, you're in my poem. Let me see if I can think. Sorry, this is a really long video. I guess if you don't want to watch it, some people will skip this, but there was a part, where did it say? Oh, angels were sent as I fought this great battle. I was blessed with revelation, but treated it as babble. That was you, my angel that was sent. There were other angels, but you gave me some great advice that I kind of took for a few days, and then I fell back into that snare of my social media addiction. That's what that poem is about, by the way. It's about my social media addiction. And anyways, Joe, you're in that poem. You just didn't know it. And I just love you. Love all y'all. Love you to pieces. Okay, so then I got Joe in there, and then the Spirit was like, Beth, just put all of them in there. So Joe sent me some pictures to help me with him, with his sketch. But I loved that picture that you sent me with you and Vandersteen, and I can't remember the others that are in there right now. I can't remember, but that with the arms around each other, and I loved that picture so much. I love it, and I wanted to capture that that brotherhood or that camaraderie. in the sketch. And so in the framed version, some of my missionaries are cut out because I didn't have a big enough frame. But if I were to take this out, you would see 18 of you in there. And then a couple of my companions from my mission are up there in the corner. And then like family members and people are there. Justin's like, my husband's like, well, where am I? Okay, you're right there in front, sweetie. Right there. You got that longer hair like you did when we were first married. He kind of grew out his hair. Okay, anyways, so that's the story of this sketch. Maybe one day I'll find a bigger frame and fix it so that I can see all 18 of you. Okay, so this is a really long video. I apologize. I want to share. Oh, one other thing that I want to share. And then I'll read the poem, and then this will be the end of the video. This necklace. I want to talk about this really quickly. You guys know, well, some of you know about why the maple seed is so important to me, and that new start, right? That monument. So when I found this on, I don't even know how, like at some point, somehow, well, it was just God's providence, that his hand, that I saw this somewhere, and I was like, I gotta have that. So I wanted it for Christmas, and I ended up ordering it on December the 10th. It was the last one that was in stock. So on December the 10th, just this past December, I bought it, and I don't know why, like I was just kind of laying in bed and just looking at the picture of it and looking, okay, when's it going to come in and all that. And then as I was laying there in bed, sorry. For some reason, I thought, just a thought came into my mind of, I wonder what I was doing on December 10th of 1997. What was I doing? Because I knew Steve and Derek were still my missionaries at that time. So I went in my closet, got out my journal. And that evening, 25 years ago, on December 10th, it was the night that we taught Mary in the chapel. It was that turning point. My helicopter seed, right? And I just cried when I read that journal entry again. I thought, oh my goodness, who would have thought 25 years later that I would be where I am today? So I just had to share that with you. Okay, I got to get it together. Okay, don't make fun of me. I got to put my reading glasses back on. My kids and my husband make fun of me. That's okay. I don't have the best eyes. By the way, my husband doesn't either. He had that LASIK. But I refuse to have it because I've had so many surgeries, and these rare things always happen to me. So I'm just scared that something rare will happen and I'll lose an eye or something. All right, I'm going to read this poem. It's called A Poem for My Brothers. All of you are in it, all 18 of you, and you'll see, because I'm going to show you your parts. But you will see our song in the beginning, our Kenny Loggins song, is how I start this poem out. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes I have a southern accent, y'all. It's okay. You guys know my accent. Okay. Sometimes I try to hide it. All right. I'm sorry. I'm stalling. I need to just stop. Okay. We ready? It says, as we meet halfway across the sky, we celebrate the beginning of my new life, dressed in white, a new creature in Christ. Hesitant at first, filled with fear and doubt, you softly proclaimed, the Lord will work it out. The opposition was great, and you were there through it all, scriptures and prayers, and my tears that would fall. You gave warnings, advice, and testified of truth, helping me progress into a woman of virtue. Many times confused, I came to you with questions. You gave guidance, blessings, and Bible translations. You gave help and support, though sometimes unknown. You blessed me with courage when I felt all alone. spiritual thoughts, pranks, and one sledding injury, you were my brothers and took good care of me. You inspired me and taught me to never give up. Baptized live, baby. Our meeting was more than just luck. When you saw my pride, you opened my eyes, turning my foe into my brother, my strong ally. While preparing for my mission, you were with me all the way, offering words of encouragement and even financial aid. Oh, I realize I'm now almost nothing to all of you, but when the veil is thin, the bond is true. And so, till we meet again, may God bless and keep you. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen.